there, Maggie here. I am just popping on to talk about a reel I shared yesterday and some of the things I talked about in the caption. But basically, it was about the idea that many people will share practices that they do, and you might even engage in these practices without really even knowing what the purpose is or what the words mean. So I wanted to expand on that and explain some of these words to you in case you check that box as well. So the first thing was smoke cleansing, and many people talk about smoke cleansing and cleansing your energy field, but you might not really understand why you would do that or what that means. So basically, smoke cleansing is the practice of making smoke through by burning herbs. And you can burn herbs in a variety of ways. One way is a smoke wand or a bundle of herbs. So this is an example of a smoke wand. You can also burn loose herbs. So these are some rose petals. You could put that in like a cauldron and light them on fire. You could put them on a burning charcoal disc and have them create smoke that way. So there's several ways to do that, but loose herbs of any variety. Incense is another way to burn herbs. So this is herbs that have been formed into a resin and then it's hardened and you burn it. You probably know what incense is. You can also use herbal cigarettes. So making a cigarette out of herbs and paper, and then you would smoke it by inhaling it or just burning it and letting the smoke fill the room. And then a campfire. You can burn herbs in a bonfire or a campfire and use that for cleansing. And the purpose of this is for medicinal uses, there are spiritual uses, and then there are magical uses for cleansing with smoke. Now, I listed several different herbs in that reel's caption, and you can find them in the caption of this video as well. There's a variety. You can pretty much burn anything. There's some that it's unsafe to burn, but you can pretty much burn anything. You can select the herbs that you want to burn for smoke cleansing based on their magical purposes and their medicinal properties, as well as spiritual uses as well. The second practice I showed you in the reel I mentioned is about divine messages. So you may have heard, about receiving divine messages and just kind of went along with it, didn't know exactly what that was. Most people think that divination, or the practice of receiving divine messages, is only for fortune telling or seeing into the future. And there's definitely room for that under the umbrella of divination, of this word divination. But divination is simply the practice of seeking knowledge through interaction with the divine. It's an ability to interpret messages from the divine and uncover hidden aspects of your situation, or to see the potential outcomes for making a choice, or if you have an option of a couple of choices to make, you can see the outcome of those choices and help you to make that decision. Basically, using divination, you can check in with yourself, with your higher self, and with the divine, anything that exists in the spirit realm. So whatever your beliefs consider the divine, whether that's God or the universe or a pantheon of deities or a specific deity that you work with, a god or a goddess, or spirit guides or angels, all these different spirit realm entities. And divination is the practice of communicating with them and receiving messages from those entities or energies. But these messages could give you so much information. It can help you to get to know yourself. It can help you to speak with your ancestors. It can help you make decisions. As I mentioned, you can double check on your spell work along the process. You can ask questions about whether you're choosing the right herbs or crystals, or whether you've done everything that you need to do while you're in that sacred space of this ritual. You can plan your life with divination. You can set goals and so much more. And there are so many divination practices that you can choose from. So you can play around and decide what is a tool that you enjoy using, or you can also practice divination without a specific tool. So there are a variety of divination practices that you can engage in. For example, you can use the tarot. This is the This May Hurt tarot deck. So you can use tarot. You can use runes. This is a set of rune stones to Elder Futhark. You can use a pendulum to indicate, yes or no questions and answers, or maybe, or ask again. You can do things like palmistry, astrology. You can simply look for messages from the divine in shadows and in the way that branches are touching, and with looking at animals that you see outside your window and all sorts of things. So there's so many different ways that you can receive messages from the divine. Basically, it's just a way that you can communicate with the divine and receive guidance on anything that you need it for. And then the final practice that I mentioned in that reel is about adding materials to spells. And I think many people think that the spell is what the magic is, and so they'll follow spells that are written in books and just assume that that is what is the magic, is that someone else has written the spell and that's why it's magic. Really, what makes it magic is the intention you put behind those tools and materials. But there are reasons that those specific tools and materials are chosen for a spell that's written in a book, and you can write your own spells as well based on your own beliefs and understanding of how magic works. So if you've ever heard someone say the phrase "as above, so below," you may have wondered what that meant, and so I'm going to tell you. Basically, all materials, any material that you would use in spell work, has associations, whether it's a magical purpose that it can be used for, a spirit realm entity like those that we talked about before with divination, zodiac signs, spirit guides, archetypes, etc. They also have associations with moon phases and times of day and seasons of the year. and all of that as well. And so all of those things, the correspondences, the purpose, the timing, those all exist in the above, of the as above. And we as humans and our materials exist in the physical realm, or the below. So below. So in order to correspond with that spirit realm, with the above, we can represent those things in the physical realm, in the below, with materials. And that sort of anchors that energy into your spell work, into the sacred space that you create through, casting a circle or opening a spell in some way. And so you can represent those spirit realm entities, those correspondences, with something that you can experience with at least one of your 5 physical senses. So your sense of sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. So you can choose a rock or a crystal. You can choose a plant, a herb, or a plant part. You can choose an image or a symbol, a color, a song, or a sound. You can choose a smell, like using incense or essential oils. You can choose a taste by incorporating food and drink into your spell work, or herbs in general. And you can choose textures and things that you can feel, like pressure and temperature. And all of that can be used in order to experience something in the physical realm that represents something in the spiritual realm. So that means that any combination of things, of materials that you see written down in a spell book, could be substituted for something else that represents a similar corresponding energy, a similar purpose in the spell, or similar timing for the spell. So getting to know why these materials were chosen for the spell and substituting them for other types of materials, if you don't have something on hand, or if it's not something that you work with, or it's not native to your region, or anything like that, you can substitute. It's not the combination, the specific combination that's written, it's the reason that it was chosen that matters. So what else do you wish someone would explain to you that you feel like people just assume you already know what it is and why you need it? And maybe I'll do another video like this in the future. See you in the next video!